You know, I wish I could take all my memories and just put them into a reel and make a montage for you guys because I promise you guys just wouldn't believe the amount of unbelievable things I've seen while I was in the Marine Corps. And you start seeing them, of course, while you're in boot camp, but where you really start seeing them is in ITB, the place where you go to right after boot camp. The reason you start seeing this is because you guys start getting a little bit more freedom. You start, start doing a little bit more things. Your drill instructors aren't up your ass like they were in boot camp. So people start doing dumb. I'm sorry. I mean, I was one of those people. I was one of those Marines that did a lot of dumb things, but I can't say I compare to some of the things I've seen or heard about. But guys, I mentioned this in another video and I'll say it again here. The Marine Corps is a series of different duty stations or places reminding you how you have not made it. Marines are they're like boomers on steroids. They have to make everything as difficult as possible because of the fact that they had it really difficult when they first came through. So they're really just miserable if you ask me, but not the point of this video. Maybe we'll talk about how miserable Marines are and how miserable old people are in a future video. But for now, today's video is just about ITB. The first place that really checks your manhood, the place that for some reason seems to get no sun during the week or even on the weekends for the most part. If you guys don't know what ITB is, what it stands for Infantry Training Battalion, and it's the first place, if your MOS is infantry, that you go to right after your 10 days of leave after boot camp. Okay, so if you aren't in the infantry, then you go to MCT, which is Marine Combat Training, if I remember correctly. But if you're in the infantry, then you do ITB. The Pogue version MCT that I just mentioned, that's like a shortened version of ITB. ITB is like 2 months long, and then MCT is a month long. If you ask me, I think ITB should be a little bit longer. I don't think Pogues should be getting half as much time because think about it, Pogues go to MCT for like a month and a half or so ish, then they go to their schooling, and depending on the job it can be like a few months, like a month or two or so. I think the least or the shortest MC or Pogue school that I've heard of was 2 months. So that means they get like 3 months of training before they go into the fleet minimum. There's 9-month long Pogue schools. I think air traffic controller is one of the longer ones, but if you compare that to infantry, like that's legit just 2 months of fucking of training, and then you're off to the fleet. Granted, you're training for the rest of the time you're in the Marine Corps, so I guess it's not too bad, and maybe they feel like, you get all your training in the fleet. But I feel like, yeah, ITV could be like at least a month longer. So with that, let's bring it back a little bit. I know that I said that this is the first place that you get your manhood checked, and some of you are probably thinking, wait, I feel like boot camp would be the first place you get your manhood checked. Yeah, technically, but I feel like with boot camp, you're kind of, you already know what to expect. With boot camp, you are already expecting your drill instructors to kind of mess with you already. It's still nerve-wracking. You're still gonna be really anxious the entire time, but it's different when you're not expecting it. When you go into ITB, you kind of have this air of like, oh damn, I finished boot camp. I'm a Marine now. This is what I do now. I kind of made it. But you get to ITB and you realize you did not make it. You are not even close. Before going to boot camp, man, all you hear is boot camp stories. Boot camp stories. This happened to boot camp. This is third battalion is so much tougher than second battalion or first battalion. XYZ and drill. Blah blah blah. Guys, that's like 3 months of your Marine Corps career. You got at minimum 4 years left. 4 years left, and that's not counting the guys that got signed like a 5-year contract. But you not thinking about the next 4 years after boot camp is the perfect setup for ITB to come and smack you right across the face for being an idiot. Don't worry, just speaking from experience, I was one of those idiots too. So going back to a little bit of more background on ITB. If you are in the infantry, like I said, you go to ITB. Both schools, ITB and MCT, are on Camp Geiger, which is like 5 miles, 10 miles away from Camp Lejeune in North Carolina. One of the big Marine Corps bases. And also on the weekends, unlike boot camp, you get your weekends off and you can kind of go into town and do whatever you want. You get your phone too. But you definitely, like I said, you get a lot more freedom than you did in boot camp. Now, before we get into everything, we got to talk about Lima Company. I'm not gonna lie, I can't even believe that I remember what this company was called because I was there only for like 2 weeks, but it left such a lasting impression on me. It was one of the most miserable places that you could be. It's disgusting, honestly. Just to give you a little bit of background, I went to boot camp in September. Boot camp is around 3 months long, so that means I graduated around November, around Thanksgiving time, and around that time, it's like the holidays, Thanksgiving to Christmas. So what usually happens around this time is that the guys that are getting out of boot camp, because of the holidays, the guys already in ITB get like a leave break, a 2 week break for the holidays, depending on if they chose Thanksgiving or Christmas and New Year's. Because of that, schooling gets kind of pushed back a little bit. I don't know why they haven't kind of figured this out already. It's like it happens every year, I guess. But the guys that like me getting out of boot camp in November-ish, we actually get that whole month off. They give us a whole month, the whole month of December, and they tell you basically just go do recruiter's assistance, which is you go back to your recruiter station that you originally signed up through. You just go see your recruiter again, and you basically just work for them. You go to the mall, you go to schools, and you do like little events and everything, which is honestly pretty dope if you ask me. If you want that, just go to school or go to boot camp around September time, and you'll get out around November time. You'll have like the entire month of December. I think I was the second graduating class to get this. The first got like another week on top of me, so I think they graduated sometime mid-November. So if you guys are planning to go to the Marine Corps, maybe choose this September, because you'll get that 1 month of RA on top of the 10 months of leave that you already get. But you do all that, and then you come into after you're done with your month of RA and 10 days of leave, you go into ITV, like I was just saying, and you go to Lima Company. Because of this, everything was kind of backed up still. So usually you end up going to Lima Company for like 3 days, and then you get picked up into your class, your ITV class, and you start training for ITV. I got actually held back, and I was forced to wait 2 weeks for the next class to pick up. And Lima Company is actually just this holding platoon where they basically hold everybody that's waiting to do something. Either people that are hurt, injured, waiting to get back into training. You're still all considered students, so students that are hurt, or students that like me that just came in at the wrong time and have to wait like a week or two. One of my buddies from boot camp actually also waited with me, so it's not like too bad, but it's pretty miserable because you're not allowed to go anywhere else except like that little area that Lima Company is at, and then you can go walk like to the store down the street and like order some pizza and stuff. You can't really do much. And then the worst part of it is they're also holding medically separate the medical people, and then the also admin separation guys. So like students that like either were failure to adapt, so they couldn't make it and they just refused to train, or I don't know, they were on leave and they smoked weed, so they're getting kicked out. All those kids are just waiting there too. So basically it's all the shitbag Marines with nobody to really like. There's like a sergeant that walks around here and there, but he doesn't give a fuck. These kids are all getting out soon or they're hurt, so most of the time it's not kids that are waiting to pick up, so they don't give a fuck, they don't care. So what happens is that the kids that are getting admin separated end up taking over the platoon and being in charge, and it's just like a bad situation where like kids that are like just shitbag Marines end up telling you what to do, and you know that they're dirtbags, and you're like, oh bro, get out of my face. But you can't say anything because you're a private, and they're like lance corporals because they've been waiting here for like 9 months to get out, so they automatically pick up anyways. Just a horrible experience, and the pizza's bad. I remember getting so much fucking nicotine poisoning because everybody there is dipping, and like there's nothing else to do, and just vaping. Ugh. You could play basketball, I guess. It's like kind of like being in jail, to be honest. Miserable, but you could order pizza. If you ever read the book Fruit of the Flies back in like 6th grade or whatever it was, it feels like that. Like all the kids are now in charge, and the kids that were, instead of the kids that like it has the best leadership ability, it's just the kids that were there the longest. And it really depends on who was there the longest when you're there. You might have like at least some dude that's like not bad, or you might have some weirdo that's like has like a power trip. And he's like 19. But he's a lance corporal, so he automatically is the highest ranked guy there, so he's in charge. But after Lima Company, after that horrible experience is over, then you finally get picked up into your ITV class and you start doing infantry training. just for the setup, how it works is that ITB is about 2 months. You go to the field every week. On the weekends, you have liberty, and you are allowed to go out into town up until like 10 o'clock. You have to be back by the end of the night, and then you get your phones. But you have to give your phones back at on Sunday nights. You have squad leaders, and there's like a few tests that they make you do. So you have to train. You have to do. You have to qualify with like different weapon systems. You have to do different ranges. Do a 5K, 10K, and 15K, I think, or maybe a 10K, 15K, and a 20K. I think it's longer than the boot camp hikes, and I think they are heavier than the boot camp hikes. But you do that progressively throughout the 2 months that you're there, and then you also, like I said, you shoot mad guns. You shoot rocket launchers, AT4s. You train with claymores. You throw grenades. This is where you basically fulfill your fantasy of all the guns you've ever wanted to shoot in Call of Duty. This is where I mean, not all the guns. I mean, I wish like you. It's not like you get like Tyrion, man. You shoot like machine guns, rocket launchers. If you're, I don't know, they're doing M16s anymore. It's kind of old. You do M4s. You do your M27s. Do all the weapon systems that they shoot in the Marine Corps that you'll be able to shoot. You go through that. You qualify with all of them. Not qualify, but like, you just make sure that you can shoot them. Basically, not too hard. And overall, I think like the training and the actual up for ITV is pretty good. I feel like it's pretty fun. It's what you expect to do, especially since if you wanted to join the Marine Corps and do infantry like I did, I just wanted to go to the Marine Corps and do infantry and just do infantry stuff. I didn't want to do anything else. But I told my recruiter when I walked in, I think I got like a freaking 70 on the ASVAB, and he said, oh, you could do like intel or comms or something. I'm like, nah, man, put me infantry. I don't want to do any of that. I don't want to do anything paperwork related. Don't care, which is, you do have to remember a lot of stuff. There's like some tests that you have to take here and there in the infantry, just kind of doing like basic knowledge. Is not too bad. You could basically just force yourself to memorize them through just forced repetition, basically. You like have to learn your 9-line, and you have to learn the mass effective range of a weapon system, mass effective range of a grenade, things like that. But overall, I think it's a good training program. The worst part about it is your instructors. Your instructors are all salt dogs. Your instructors have all been in combat. I mean, as far as when I went in, I don't know about now. I guess the instructors now are probably the guys that were either younger than me, because I've been out for a little bit now, or my peers, and Marine Corps hasn't been in combat for a little bit now, so they probably haven't been in combat. But my instructors, salt dogs, bro. Salt dogs. They would tell us stories about some crazy shit that was going on in either, they had a few pushes to Afghanistan on them, to Iraq. A lot of people didn't go to Iraq, but I did have a, like most people that you meet in the Marine Corps that had combat experience, I feel like at the time were from Afghan. Maybe it was like the West Coast out, like Iraq stuff. But they would tell you some crazy stories, and then they also hazed the shit out of you, bro. They haze the fuck out of you. It's so fucking, looking back, it's so funny. I remember one time they were given a class on what hazing is, and they brought, one of my instructors just loved to haze one of my boys. Bro, I have a magic tattoo with this guy, but he loved to haze him so bad. He's like, hey, come down here. I'll call him Steven for now. Come down here, Steven. He's like, look, guys, this is not hazing. He like fucking just kind of messes with him a little bit, pushes him around a little bit, just, you know, kind of just teasing him. Then he has him get on the ground, and he puts like 4 tourniquets on each limb, and then he has him grab his ankles from the back and just roll around from wall to wall. We're in like an auditorium, kind of, from wall to wall as he's barking. And he's like, look, now this is hazing. This, you can't let anybody do this. And he's just, you know, just messing with us. It's fun sometimes not. This guy, I feel like he just kind of messed with us. It was kind of funny. Yeah, where for the most part they haze you and everything, but it's just funny for the most part. I think as long as you're not up like a piece of shit, like you're one of the boys, bro, like you'll be fine in ITB. I did have what happens. I feel like what happens with a few guys that, I hate saying one of the boys because I don't want to like exclude anybody, because it does suck and everything, but sometimes people will act selfish or very like grimy, or just like whiny, like a child, and like you don't want to do that when you're around a bunch of dudes, because they're just gonna punch you in the face, and nobody cares if people get in a fight in the Marine Corps. Like there, it's promoted. You are promoted to get in a fight, and if you want to be a very whiny kind of person, you're gonna get punched in the face a lot, and it sucks for some people because they don't realize that they're the problem. Just like if you're just a cool dude and you kind of mind your business, you're not stealing from anybody. That's for sure. You're not freaking complaining like kind of like you can complain like, yeah, bro, like we all complain the entire time like, damn bro, we're sitting in the defense for 48 hours, it's cold, it's raining, like you complain with your boys all the time, but like when people start just kind of whining, it pisses other people off. Like you don't want to be doing that. You don't want to rub people the wrong way because you have to live with these people all the time, and a lot of people that were maybe that kind of think that the Marine Corps is gonna make them a man before they had the experience of hanging out with, like maybe being on like a sports team or seeing how other dudes like act. They come in and they're kind of like kind of sad, honestly, because like it's like I understand, but like you're kind of like weird and awkward, but like stop being fucking weird and awkward, man. And to lead into that, guys, like the instructors do not care if, as long as you're not fighting in front of the officers, because they care. As long as you're not fighting in front of anybody important, like higher ranking people, like your instructors, they don't care if you fight. They'll tell you to go do that shit in the woods, go do that shit in the bathroom, but they don't care. We had like a fight club, a secret fight club that they ended up finding out about, and they got in trouble for it. But people just like kind of, if anybody had beef, we go to the showers, we got gloves, just go box and everything. I got my ass handed to me maybe once or twice, you know, it happens. If you that's another thing, if you're joining the Marine Corps and you've never been in a fight, it's all right if you lose. I think like 70% of the fights I've been in, I've lost. It ain't too big of a deal. And as long as you can take the L like a man and just keep on moving with your life, then you're all good, bro. Like I fought my friends, I fought random people, I fought random Marines in different battalions. Like I fought people over a cookie. It's okay to fight, you just can't be like a bitch about it. The very last thing I want to mention, I know I mentioned this in the beginning of the video, my little intro. I saw a lady Marine take a dump in the middle of an IHOP parking lot. You're probably asking yourself, infantry, girls are in the infantry, blah, blah, blah. This was around the time, I don't know if they're still there, but this was around the time they were first starting to let girls in the infantry. So I think it was like maybe like the second class or the first class that had females in the infantry. These specific girls, they only did it was like a kind of testing experimental thing that they did. So they only went to ITB with us. They did not go on to do infantry as their primary MOS. They went back and then they went to their actual schooling because they didn't actually sign up as infantry, but they did the experiment to kind of see if women can be in the infantry. From my experience, I think the girls that we were with, they did pretty well, and they did a lot better than some of the guys that were there. But I don't know if that means that women should be in the infantry. I think that just means that the standards in the Marine Corps need to be raised, because like there's a lot of people that can do what we do in the Marine Corps. Like it's not that hard. You really only have to do like 8 pull-ups or something stupid like that, do like 50 sit-ups to pass, and then run like a 26-minute mile. Like just because you can do that stuff, do the very bare minimum, then it doesn't mean you should be in the military. But at the same time, I understand that they have trouble recruiting people. You can't just make it as hard as possible because they're not going to have as many people as they need. And I'm also not saying that we should raise the bar because if a woman can get it, then that's the lowest we can set it. No. I just think that we should raise the bar in general. And then if women, there are definitely girls that are way better than, probably stronger than me, and then that can hike better, that can lift heavier. And so if they can make it, of course, let them go through. I will say that I think the hardest part about being in the infantry specifically, it's not really the hiking. Hiking sucks. I actually think women are better at hiking. They just have better lower waist extremities, right? But I think the hardest part of being in the infantry is in shooting guns. It's really staying calm under pressure, and then being able to put your fellow Marine on your back. Being able to put your 140 pound, 150 pound, 160, 70, 80 pound buddy on your back while he's in full kits because he's hurt is extremely hard. I've picked up a few of my buddies just in training and everything. They have to first of all act like they're completely unconscious. You have to do that from like get them off the ground with there's techniques to do it, of course, but it's pretty difficult. And on top of that, it's like 200 something pounds that you're now running with, maybe it's like a lot of weight, and I felt my knees buckle under the weight, and it's an extremely difficult thing to do. So all I'm saying is I would want everybody to be as physically fit as possible. Of course, we can't do that all the time. There are male Marines that I think that probably shouldn't be in the Marine Corps. There's a lot of them that I saw, but definitely not a dig towards women, because there were definitely a lot of women that could do above and beyond what some of the guys there could do. So don't even think that's like what I'm trying to say. But besides that, guys, love all my fellow Marines. Love you guys. Like I said, I saw that chick take a dump in the middle of the IHOP parking lot. I don't know why she was doing that shit. That shit was fucking disgusting. I don't know, man. Just so you guys know, there was like only 4 girls that were in our experimental thing. They were, I mean, I didn't talk to them. They were mostly in first platoon. I was like in second or third platoon. They kept all the girls separated from all the guys, of course, as much as they could. And then, you know, we did the ranges and all the training with them. But that bitch still took a dump in the IHOP parking lot. That shit was gross, man. That shit was gross. All right, guys, that's it for the video. I love you guys. Hope you guys like the video. And if you did, like the video down below and leave a comment. If you have any questions, please leave them down below, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.
Down top prison, down top prison. Oh, sniper. Your squad mate's located. High risk, high reward. Nice.